everybody. This is a screencast where I will be integrating a student's design into a custom cart. So the logic here is to show points of attack for this student. The student had done the hard coding version of their project. They have created a couple of new categories that have spurned my interest. So what we'll need to do is alter the database first, and that's what we're going to do in this first part of the integration in this video. So here you see we have new arrivals and popular items. So spoiler alert, our attack is going to start with the database, but after that we're going to be looping around categories. We're going to be showing the most recent products updated, which is going to be pretty easy. It's basically just literally our SQL query is going to change a little bit. So this would be order by ID descending limit 4. That would get the last 4. And the popular item, we can go right off the rating table. So all of this stuff we can get functional, but I'm going to focus solely on this section right here. So let's start with our database. We're using the same database we've been using in our custom cart, except I've made a couple of alterations. The alterations I've made is I have a categories table now, and I'll click on structure here so you can see it, but basically I added an ID, auto increment, primary key. I have a category name, which is variable character varchar 255, and I have a category description, category DESC, which is text, which is just to give you a little review. Text will allow 65,000 characters, so that should be enough for us to really consider search engine optimization as we build this thing. Now, the other thing I've done is I've gone into the products table and I made a couple changes to it. So this is sort of an all-inclusive products table that handles not only digital downloads, but it handles physical products as well. And what I've done is added a cat ID to the product table, and that cat ID is nothing more than an integer. So that will hold the 4 categories that you see here, whether they be the headgear, the shirts, plushies, keychains, doesn't matter. So 1 through 4, there's the category ID. So after that, I've added some product. So we have our original product, and I went ahead and just picked out fake products from the just from Google, just from doing an image search. And what I have here is we'll let this load, but I've added plushies. I've added, here we go. If you remember, I have iPhone camera, Weezer cover, that's the digital download one. I have a platypus shirt, which will allow us to mock what the student has created here. I also have a headgear, Beats by Dre, avocado plushie, happy avocado plushies, chicken plushie. I wanted one category with at least 3 products so that in the future I can just link to this and go to a product page to show you how that works. And I also have a Jonas Brothers keychain. So similar to the, let me go to my images here. Similar to the previous screencast where I added pictures, I added pictures just to my product. And you see they're all of variations of size and things like that. I've got my angry chicken plushie here. And what everyone wants to see is the Jonas Brothers keychain. There you go. So we got some product. And that's a big part of the steps and process here. You want to have product in before you start coding. So by the end of the day, we've got a lot that we need to do. We need to take care of a few things. And if I go back to our digital download cart implementation, here's this. Whoops, excuse me. We'll go to digital download cart, and you'll see that the products now are here. Now I didn't add the images of the new products. I'm using the same database, but I have moved things over. So this whoops, excuse me. This is sort of our new cart right now. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is put it into this cart. But what's key, the biggest lesson here is if I scroll over here, you'll see that iPhone camera and Weezer cover, none of those have cat IDs. But the new products all do. Platypus t-shirt has a cat ID 1. And that's a borrowed key, and over here that means it's under the category shirts. And then you see Beats by Dre, which is headgear, number 2, and then you see the 3 plushies, and then a 4, which is keychains. So I just, in part 1 here, just want to create product to allow for our implementation. So just as a preview, what we'll be doing is we'll be calling on the product table to populate our navigation. Then we'll work on the new arrivals. Now we have a grid system that's 4 wide, so I'm going to basically be making 25% columns here. And then we have the populars, so we'll have to call the ratings table here. This is super easy right here, the join our newsletter. I can just add a newsletter table to that, but I'll let the student do this. And by the way, I'm not going to be sharing the code here. I'm going to be doing it in a video because I don't want to do the work for the student. But they can easily pause and type over, and I'll add updates and things like that. But for now, we should work through this so we get the habit of writing the queries. Now, for some of you who are using OpenCart, I want you to think about, I'll be re-adding videos of how to implement the same homepage for OpenCart, but I want you to think about what's happening over here in the future when you might want to decide to create a custom solution. If you can just simply write CRUD function for SQL PHP, this is a nice way to go, because I can basically adapt to any design that gets on my desk because I know how to just write SQL queries for the data that I need. But it starts with making a really good database and making sure product gets in there.